the 2017 Ford Expedition. Now, this is a full-size SUV that not too many years ago we didn't think was going to be around a whole lot longer, but yet Ford gave it a facelift in 2015 and sales are as strong as ever. I'm Jay and welcome to this latest episode of Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews. I want to give a shout out to Future Ford of Sacramento for letting us come on down and film today. So, the Ford Expedition. Now, the first generation was launched way back in 1997 and Ford had the intention of it being a replacement for the iconic Bronco. Now, this is still Ford's largest SUV that's based on a truck. In fact, it's based on the previous generation F-150 chassis. And as we all know, the Ford Explorer is now a unibody platform that is actually shared with the Ford Taurus, which actually goes back to a Volvo sedan platform. But no, the Expedition is still a body-on-frame chassis. But this is the third generation Expedition that debuted back in 2007, and it was given a facelift, a pretty extensive one, in fact, for 2015, and it remains unchanged for the 2017 model year. However, in 2018, we're expecting for there to be a completely redesigned Expedition along with its corporate twin, the Lincoln Navigator, to be coming out, and that will be based on the current generation F-150 platform, meaning lots and lots of aluminum to cut weight by 750, 800 pounds or so. But I think right now is a really good time to buy the current generation Expedition because simply Ford dealerships want to get them off the lot before the completely redesigned model arrives. You can get a really good deal on these right now. But step inside here, and wow, this is the platinum trim level. It is the top of the line you can get. You have the XLT, Limited, King Ranch, followed by this, the Platinum. And it wears its name proudly on the seats right there. Now this interior, it's ebony leather. It's perforated French stitched leather seats, in fact. Now, and you have more leather stitching all along the armrests on the doors here. Now, this is kind of an interesting contrast. The quality of the leather is fantastic, but the plastics, especially on the door and parts of the dash, they feel cheap, and well, that's kind of because they are. Remember, this Expedition goes back to 2007. The whole design is several years old. Ford has stuck with it for up until now, so it's really a 10-year-old car at its core. And that means, well, there's still some cheaper parts here, but that's all going to be taken care of when the next generation model arrives. But if you don't mind a few cheaper plastics here, you're still getting one hell of a great full-size luxury SUV. And when I say SUV, not like a crossover SUV, a real SUV. Check out the second row here. Now, this is a 3-row, 8-passenger SUV. And the second row, the seats fold down 40 by 20 by 40, and yeah, it's quite spacious. In fact, even the third row, which you'll see shortly, is pretty spacious as well. Now, you can get the Expedition in two body lengths. The regular, which is what this one is, and then there's the EL for extended length. You can get the extended length in all 4 trim levels, and it extends the overall length of the vehicle by 14.8 inches. Essentially, it gives you a larger third row seat, but I think the amount of space here in the third row is pretty good for the regular length. Now, why did Ford start offering the Expedition EL? Well, simply because there is the Chevrolet Suburban. And it wanted to have a competitor with that, and yeah, it makes complete sense. But this car's main competitor is, for example, the Chevrolet Tahoe. But I'll get into more of the competitors later on in the review. That's really cool. The automatic running boards there. Now, that's standard in the Platinum, optional and lower trim levels, and it looks cool, but I'm kind of concerned because if somebody's not expecting it, it'll smash into their ankle or their shin, or if the running boards get dirty and you rub your pants up against them, well, your pants are going to be dirty. Just something to consider there. But without those running boards, it's kind of a high step in height. Now, the overall dash design here, again, this was redesigned for 2015, and starting in 2016, Ford replaced its old infotainment system and navigation system, My Ford Touch, with what you see here. I'll demonstrate that for you in a sec. That's Ford Sync 3 system. And here it is. This is an 8-inch display screen. Again, Sync 3, as I mentioned and talked about, and other reviews of Ford products, it's much, much better than my Ford Touch. I don't even think there's any comparison. My Ford Touch, it had so many issues throughout its years in production. By the end, Ford worked out a number of them, but it still wasn't competitive enough. Sync 3 is just worlds better in my opinion. In fact, you even get Wi-Fi updates for it, brought to you by Ford. It's got voice-activated navigation with 3D mapping. It's just a very intuitive, easy to use, and easy to figure out system. It doesn't do any of that stupid rebooting that my Ford Touch was known to do. You also have dual zone automatic climate control, heated and cooled 10-way power front seats with driver seat memory. Heck, even the second row seats are heated. But remember, this is the Platinum trim, fully loaded. It's got pretty much every extra feature the Expedition has to offer. 12-volt power outlet there. Now, all Expeditions come standard with rear-wheel drive. Remember, it's a body-on-frame chassis, so you can get four-wheel drive, and that is optional for about an extra $3,000, and this particular one has it. But I think it's well worth it because, hey, it's an SUV. You want to take it off-roading. That's what they're for. And just one of the benefits of having a big vehicle like this is just the insane amount of storage space. And again, just because this car's been around since 2007, Ford's been updating it with things such as those USB ports right there. They were not originally there when that 2000 Expedition came out. Smartphones really just simply didn't exist just yet. Now the glove box here, when I went to open it, it just sort of had a cheap feeling to it. It didn't feel premium like the leather seats that you see here. And again, it's just part of the cheap plastics. And I do expect Ford to take care of that cheap plastic issue with the 2018 Expedition. You have your power moonroof here. Again, standard on the Platinum trim, optional on lower trims. So let's talk safety here. Now, the U.S. government has given the Expedition a 5-star government crash test rating. It also comes standard with blind spot info system, rear view camera, driver and front passenger airbag, side impact airbags, 4-wheel ABS brakes, reverse sensing system, and a trailer brake controller. And overall, what I really like about the Expedition is that it just does everything well, whether or not you go for the base XLT or offer something like the King Ranch or this Platinum here. It's going to meet your requirements because people who buy it, well, they want to be able to go off-roading. They need something reliable that'll get the job done and has a lot of space for people and stuff inside. And that's what this is at its core. This is nice, just another basic, simple driver's computer screen here, telling you all your basic information. Alright, so how does it drive? Well, as you saw on that screen there's 3 driving modes, comfort, normal, and sport. Regarding sport, there's really nothing sporty about it. To be honest with you, the Expedition, whether you get the regular wheel length or the longer length, it's really not much fun to drive. It's just a big vehicle. Acceleration is nice. I'll talk about that shortly as well. It's just a big SUV. What more can I say? Now, what's nice is that there are chassis sensors that help adjust shock control every few milliseconds depending on the road conditions. And the independent rear suspension makes for a very nice and smooth ride. And hey, it also frees up cargo space. And the 3.31 non-limited slip rear axle, it's standard on all regular models with the 4x4 drivetrain. And what's nice is that in terms of just overall noise on the inside, this car comes with acoustic glass and additional noise insulation too. So yeah, it's smooth on the road, regular paved surfaces that is, and it's quiet inside. So yeah, I didn't have too many complaints about that. But like I said, it's not like a sportier ride, say something like a BMW X5 or even a Mercedes GLS class, which I recently did a review of as well. But take a look at the rear seat space, specifically the second row here. Yeah, it's very spacious. Now remember, for the extended length Expedition, the second rows will not be any different. It will be the same size. It's only the third row and the rear cargo space that will be affected. So what about payload and towing? Well, it has a maximum payload capacity of 1,570 pounds, towing capacity 9,200 pounds. It also has the heavy-duty trailer tow package, which includes a Class 4 trailer hitch receiver, wiring harness, heavy-duty auxiliary transmission, oil cooler, heavy-duty radiator, electronic braking wiring kit, and an integrated trailer brake controller. So yeah, third row space. I think this is really good. I really don't see the need of paying more money rather for the EL. Again, it's just under 15 inches more of space. I don't think it's worth it. I like it how you can just lift the glass up there. Again, it's just a traditional SUV in every way, and I love that. Of course, you have an electronic liftgate too. Getting pretty standard. Okay, let's talk cargo space. You have a standard 18.6 cubic feet. Now, with all of the seats folded flat, I'm talking third and second row seats, you have a grand total of 162 cubic feet. That is a lot of space. I recently did a review of a Chevrolet Spark. You could probably park a Spark in the back of this thing with all the seats folded. I like that. Yeah, these the third row, the power fold seats. That's really nice to have. And right there, you still have the second row up. And look at all that. Easily you can fit a big screen TV in there, no problem. And going back to towing for a second, somebody once asked me, in one of the comments, how to kind of relate to what is towing. What you say this thing has 9,200 pound towing capacity. Okay, what is that exactly? Well, you can easily tow a ski boat on a trailer. That's, say, around 7,000 pounds, just to put it in perspective. So, yeah, 9,200 pound towing capacity in this thing is plenty. Yeah, just a mammoth amount of space here. All right, under the hood. Now, this is a big change compared to the pre-2015 Expeditions. This is a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 with 365 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. Yes, I said twin-turbo, and power goes to either the rear or all four wheels through the 6-speed automatic. Like I said, the four-wheel drive costs an extra $3,000 or so. Now, the previous engine, which has been retired, was Ford's 5.0-liter Triton V8 with 310 horsepower and 365 pound-feet of twist. So, yeah, this twin turbo is more powerful. Let's give it a listen here. Alright, so performance, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.4 seconds. That's pretty good. Top speeds electronically limited to 113 miles per hour. Fuel economy, 15 miles per gallon in the city, 20 on the highway, and a combined 17. Vehicle weighs just over 6,150 pounds. So like I said, 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds for a 6,000 plus pound SUV. That's really good. Again, you can thank the twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 for that. That is faster than the previous naturally aspirated V8. Expect for the next generation Expedition and Navigator, which also has this 3.5-liter EcoBoost, to continue with that engine as well. I really don't see Ford offering a V8, but hey, they could surprise us. Who knows? So this exterior here, this is actually the most expensive exterior color you can get on the Expedition right now. It is white platinum tri-coat for $595. Basically, you're paying about $600 for white paint. Yes, it's sort of a metallic one. It looks nice. But really, $600 for white metallic paint, let's call it. I don't know about that. Now, it also comes with 22-inch polished aluminum wheels. Again, 22-inch wheels for the top-of-the-line Platinum. I believe it comes standard with 20-inch wheels. Yeah, this 3-bar chrome front grille. I really like that. That was new for 2017, too. Power running boards, as you saw. LED fog lamps, rain-sensing wipers. You saw that power moonroof. The polished stainless steel power deployable running boards. I think that the brushed stainless steel on those running boards was really nice. And, of course, that power liftgate you previously saw, too. So what's some of the competition? Well, as I mentioned earlier, you have the Chevrolet Tahoe for the extended length Expedition. You have the Chevrolet Suburban. Of course, you have the GMC Yukon, the Tahoe's corporate twin. You also have the Nissan Armada. I did an unboxing review of that, and I love that vehicle. There's also the Toyota Sequoia and the Mercedes-Benz GL S-Class. I also reviewed that very recently, which I walked away impressed with as well. So let's talk pricing here, because this is going to come quite a bit of a shock to some of you. A base XLT begins at a reasonable $46,225. The EL extended length adds about $2,700 to every single trim. Now, the Platinum trim begins at $66,347. It combined with the $595 white metallic paint, destination fee of $1,195. Grand total for this came in at $68,137. Literally a $70,000 Ford Expedition. Yeah, that's pretty pricey in my opinion. So that kind of brought me to the question of whether or not this Expedition Platinum is a Cadillac Escalade fighter. Kind of, but not really. At least for the time being. I think that's going to change when the redesigned Expedition, and specifically the Lincoln Navigator more so, hit the market in, say, about a year's time. This Expedition is really, really nice. I don't know if $70,000 Platinum trim is quite worth it, considering the Escalade is much newer. It has a naturally aspirated V8, by the way, and it has a bit more luxury to it than this, and it doesn't have as much of the cheap plastics that this one has. Oh, and also the Escalade has real wood trim, which this does not. So what do I like? Well, the spacious third row, even in the regular length, it's great. Fantastic engine, and the acceleration is good, and I like that quality leather seats. What don't I like? Well, the step-in height is kind of tall. You can't do much about that except use those shin-banging running boards potentially. And again, there's just too many hard and cheap plastics inside. But I'm out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any more questions for me, just leave them in the comment section below. Any suggestions for future reviews, also leave those for me in the comment section. And be sure to check out my next Car Buzz unboxing review. So until then, see you next time. Thanks again for watching.